Hello everyone, this is Persephone, and today we're going to talk about a topic that has been very requested, and that is, can being in a cuckold relationship save your marriage? Because we have this belief, this mainstream belief, that the men who are actually deciding to get into a cuckold relationship with their wives must be extreme losers, right? And must be beta men, and the wife does whatever she wants behind their back, and then they have to accept it and so on. So today I'm going to make it as comprehensive as possible and include as many cases as possible, including real life stories, to help you make a decision for your own life. This video is not only for men who are in long-term relationships and they feel fed up with their wife, but it's also for single small penis beta men who are considering a cuckold relationship. By small, you know what we do in this channel, we're objective. If you are below 5 inches, fully erect, the path I recommend at least is vasectomy, chastity, serving a goddess. Vasectomy because you need to remove yourself from the gene pool and not doom your son to the same fate of being ostracized and considered inadequate. Chastity is an experience everyone should try at least once, especially the current porn-addicted men online. And serving a goddess because it's going to transform your life into one of fulfillment and purpose. So the first thing that you need to know about cuckolding is that not all cuckold marriages are equal or the same. There are several types. The first type is the one and the most common, that the couple has been together for quite some time, years, sometimes decades, and usually it's people who got married very, very young, or people who are highly religious and inexperienced, and in some cases they even married without any prior sexual experience, being virgins, both of them. And the man has a very, very small penis, sometimes 2 inches, sometimes 3, sometimes 4, and the woman gets chronically unsatisfied, upset, fed up, and eventually she gets very bored, and she says that if he wants the relationship to continue, he should consider letting her explore bigger and thicker pastures, if you know what I mean, because it's YouTube and we have to keep things politically correct. So in that case, the men that they're still deep in the blue pill, they are trying to do the right thing, spice things up, go on candle dates, do massages, all of these extreme fraud things that they will not work because these were not a problem to begin with, and eventually they are led to divorce and then they die alone. Because one very, very big lie that many cancerous communities like Reddit are going to tell you is that you should divorce because you will find better. The harsh reality, the black-pilled reality we embrace on this channel is that for most men, no one is going to be interested in them after they get divorced, especially with children and without any money. So you think that you're going to get divorced because your wife doesn't want your 3 inches and you're going to make a Tinder account and then there is going to be a line of people who will be excited about it? Get a grip. It's not going to happen. And eventually the guy agrees reluctantly to try it. My personal opinion is not necessarily promoted, but I would say you should try some things before you reject them because you never know your reaction. How you go with that takes many forms. It could be the woman going out on dates with other guys without the husband knowing. It could be the husband watching. It could be the husband participating. There is a very big percentage of men, from my experience, that they were always having repressed bisexual tendencies that they also find the chance to explore in this new situation. And sometimes this relationship may leave everyone much more fulfilled compared to the previous dead marriage because it was dead. Another situation is that the wife starts cheating without the husband knowing, and when he finds out, he realizes that not only he is enraged with her lies and spending his money behind his back on other guys, but he's also very turned on. So this is something that kind of happens naturally as things progress, and although they did not consider becoming a cuckold, they fall into that state bit by bit. Another case is that they try to have an open marriage. Of course, there's no one interested in the guy again. So when the woman finds a boyfriend, if the boyfriend is more experienced and he has been in a cuckold before, he's the one who recommends it. For example, I have a sub whose wife had a boyfriend, and he was the one who said, you know, we should lock your husband in chastity and make him watch the videos that we send him and torture him. I mean, in a sexual way with his consent. So not every case is the same. The big $1 million question that I get here is that, yeah, but isn't this just for losers? Isn't this just a cope? And so on. I'm going to tell you my personal opinion here, and I think there is not a strictly right or wrong way to do these things. Of course, I'm going to get the messages from all of the religious people, all of them stuck-up people, all of the people in denial who will say you're just a whore and you promote degenerate lifestyles and doomsday is coming and the wall is coming and all of that, like, you know, fear-mongering stuff. But I believe that society has failed us, and religions, most of them, have failed us. I'm not referring to spirituality or to the existence of a higher power. And because many people call me an atheist, I'm going to tell you I'm not an atheist, okay? But I left Christianity a long time ago because there were several things that were in direct, like, conflict with who I am as a person. For example, that in my sect of Christianity, you have to forgive abusers as many times as possible, as long as they say that they repent, without any action necessary. So this is something I couldn't live with because I come from an extremely abusive environment. But that being said, I believe in my own way in the existence of a higher power. So just saying that because I have these atheist people trying to, like, get me to the group, not interested. Okay, back to our video. Society, and a lot of societies have religion and daily life intertwined, because I see a lot of cuckold people who came from abusive religious backgrounds, likes to think that the truth does not exist. Like, when you enter society as a young adult, you're equipped with a ton of lies and you're making decisions based on these lies. For example, that sexual desire lasts forever, or even attraction. It doesn't. After 3 to 7 years, 7, I'm being very generous, even if the guy was tall and handsome and the most amazing guy, familiarity breeds contempt. Familiarity kills excitement and love and all of that stuff. So a lot of married people have this problem, and that's because they entered outdated social norms. Now, if you add a tiny penis into this mess, all the deterioration accelerates. And this leaves 3 choices. And in my opinion, in the cases of people that they are in the situation I described, the cuckolding situation is the best for them. The first choice is to actually divorce, and at best you are going to find another woman that she is going to be okay with your small penis. She is not, but let's say you find one, okay. And then how long is that going to last? 2 years, 3 years, 5 years? And then she's going to be bored of you again and discard you, because men have it much harder than women, and in most parts of the world, the woman can just take your money and your kids and leave, and you're left living in a cardboard box, and no one cares. The man is the big loser out of marriage, as politically incorrect as that sounds, but this is how it is. Then what are you going to do? Find a 3rd woman, and find a 4th woman, and are you going to be subscribing to those pickup artists who say, man, hey, it's like fine wine, you're going to be 60 and you're going to be dating 19-year-olds. Unless you are Elon Musk level, 19-year-olds will not be interested in you. You will have to be filthy rich to attract gold-digging 19 and 20-year-olds, okay? Or some exceptional kind of guy. For the average guy, he's going to hit the wall faster than women, and leaving your wife because of your small penis and because she's not interested in you is going to be to end up with you being a lonely guy with a small penis no one wants. The second case is what I call people becoming sexually twisted. By sexually twisted, I mean both people have extremely repressed sexual energy and they adapt by channeling it to a bunch of copes, with some copes better than others. For example, you see these women that they become extremely obsessed with their kids. Everything is about the kids. They become mom mode. All of a sudden, they don't have a sex drive. I'm going to tell you something like a secret, and I conducted an unofficial research. Everyone says that, oh my God, women don't have a sex drive after 35 or after 40 or at menopause and all of that stuff. I was in many Facebook groups like a few years ago, and there was this debate, because I'm into Asian guys too, that if women like Asian guys and so on. And there was a group with several older women, like they were at least 10 to 15 years older than me. And I found some pictures and some videos of extremely hot Asian guys, like the 6'2" Chang with the 6-pack and actors and all of that stuff. The women didn't know them. They are not into the whole Korea culture. And they said, you know, let's say this guy is interested in you. Like, would you be interested in him? Like, he's Asian and like he's younger than you. He's like 28, 25, 30. And they were like, oh my God, yes, this guy is so hot. And I said, yeah, but it doesn't matter that he's Asian. They said, no, it doesn't matter. Like, look at him. Like, look at his abs. Look at his muscles. Look at his face. And I would say, yeah, but if this guy wanted to have sex with you, what would you do? Like, hell yeah, of course. So what low sex drive my food? These are a bunch of women who just don't want their husbands anymore. And because society likes to just lie to people, like I said, the man who has a small penis, he's not going to ever find out the truth that his wife is just not into him, because that hurts. But I believe that if I hurt you today with this truth, I'm going to liberate you tomorrow, because now your eyes have been opened and you won't live in delusion. So when people don't divorce and they don't know the truth, like I said, the man may start drinking. He may start taking drugs. He could be a porn addict or campsite addict or OnlyFans addict and so on. Now you're going to say, you hypocrite, aren't you selling all of these services on OnlyFans and many vids and so on? Yes, I do, but I'm also aware that most people there are addicted, okay? But we live in late stage capitalism, in a dystopia. You have to do what you have to do. I have cats to take care of. And the woman usually becomes some type of crazy person. If she's in a position of power, she may start to abuse her employees. If she has kids, she's going to be this tiger mom harassing the kids. And it's such a hell for not only everyone involved, but even unrelated people can just end up abused. So I don't recommend this. And people just cope by saying, oh, the sex dies between couples after some time. Sexual attraction converts into love. This, like, I want to vomit when I hear this. Sexual attraction and love are not the same thing. And people banned me. For me, it's impossible to join Reddit anymore. I can't. I'm permanently banned. Even my VPNs are getting banned. Because I said that the I love you, but I'm not in love with you can be a very true thing. Because, yeah, of course you can love a man that you spent 10 years with, or he's the father of your children, or he's a good provider, but his 2 inches are there, okay? It's the elephant in the room. Of course, on Reddit, the cancerous platform of delusional narcissists, people don't want to hear that. And they're going to say, just go to counseling, just go to marriage counseling. I'm going to make a whole different video about how much you don't need a counselor and how much, in most cases, you don't need a psychologist. But in our current dystopia, it's the most popular advice. That for every problem in your life, you need to see a psychologist to solve it for you, because, you know, in here, nothing works in here anymore. We have to stop using our brains. I believe that over 80% of your problems can be solved by yourself, without the psychologist, without a friend, practicing the ancient mystery art of self-reliance, self-determination, self-accountability, and for the 20%, the serious stuff, it's okay to see a therapist, but not for everything. So I believe that if those are your choices, at least exploring a cuckolding relationship can make everyone much more satisfied. And at the end of the day, even if it doesn't work for you, you can always say, I tried and it didn't work, so I'm leaving feeling that I tried everything. Because if you live a bit longer than most people, like people don't die at 40 anymore, like for thousands of years, religions told us that you have to marry someone and be together with them forever, but they didn't say that the average lifespan of especially women with childbirth was like 30 or 40. So are you going to be with the same woman who hates you from 35 to 85? Good luck. I have seen many people who tried cuckolding, and many of them say that their life is much better now. And some say it was exciting, but it didn't work out. Things that may go wrong is sometimes the wife falls in love with the bull, with the guy with a big dick, and she wants to leave. It's not very common. It's always a risk. But I would say if your wife was so disloyal and she decided to just walk away, you just dodged a huge bullet. She would just be a toxic person in your life if that didn't happen. At least now you have your peace and you can go subscribe to OnlyFans or whatever else you want. This is also a very good choice for beta men with small penises who are messaging me and they're asking, should I pursue a relationship? How am I going to find a woman? And I'm telling you that, in my opinion, your choices when you are below 5 inches is either finding a woman who is asexual, which is very rare, and I don't know if she's going to be interested in you, or having an open relationship, which is, again, I wouldn't recommend because the woman is going to be dating dozens of guys and you will be home alone, or just embracing becoming a cuckold. And oh, there's also the choice of dying alone, but that you already knew, you didn't need me to tell you, right? So I think it's time to start changing society by changing our mindset. Because there are so many people that they are hating me. You cannot imagine. I have a list of blocked words on YouTube, and there are times where I unblock a word and the notifications, like you hear boom, 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 email notifications, like, oh my God, the same things that I'm not even going to repeat because they are against the rules of YouTube. But if I ask these guys, like, okay, let's say I'm wrong, because I always try to see the other person's viewpoint, even if they are a hater. What do you suggest? Because in the current stage of society, I see people sleepwalking through life in a quiet state of desperation, in denial, struggling, and trying to solve the unsolvable. You cannot maintain attraction for decades with the same person. I think if someone can, they're a unicorn, they are a blessed person, and good for them. But for the average person, you can't. And they get mad at me and they say, no, you have to keep trying, you have to keep spicing things up, you have to keep divorcing and remarrying or entering relationships, or you have to go monk mode, you have to try to find yourself. All of these things are great. I'm not against trying in a relationship, keeping yourself in a good shape, or going monk mode and starting a project. I'm not saying anything against that. But those are band-aids. The same problem will happen again and again. And if you see it even from a biological viewpoint, for thousands of years, men died like flies. They had to defend their homes and their countries from other men, from other women, from natural disasters, from wild beasts, and so on. You really think that women are biologically designed to obsess over one man for 60 years? Humanity would have long ago been extinct. So give yourself a break for trying to go against biology and common sense for so many years and failing. Or the women who just poison men with nonsense and they say size doesn't matter, looks don't matter, you're a great guy and you're going to make a woman so happy one day. Really? If you're so great, she would want to date you right here, right now. It's time we stop lying. So I'm saying to you, I have a lot of ideas of how society should evolve. This is not all for one video, but I think that the current model, the fetishization of the nuclear family, has failed us. Not all men are meant to be parents, and women. Not everyone is cut out for long-term relationships. Not everyone is cut out for monogamy. Not everyone is straight. So what? Why is that a problem? Because religious books from thousands of years ago that we don't even know who wrote them and who altered them say so. Okay. And you have been keep trying. I mean, you don't even have to take my word for it. Just keep trying, keep going the way you're going and see where exactly you're going to end in your life. Look at your parents. My parents are the most unhappy, miserable, crazy people I know. And if you say, yeah, it's because I have you as their kid, okay, that did play a part because my parents were teen parents and having a crazy autistic kid definitely added up to the stress. But the problem is that they were together ever since they were teens and they can't stand each other. They hate each other. They don't divorce because Christianity. Yeah. When you die, no one is going to come give you a medal because you stayed with a person that you hate each other for like 150 years and you did the right thing. Why was that the right thing? I mean, it's time to start questioning the system. I realize that society, society hates men. It was a man-hating society ever since the old times. That's what I think. People say I'm crazy, but I'm telling you the patriarchy also harmed men a lot. Because people say that in patriarchy, men had so much power, women had none. Really? Because if you look at historical texts a bit more carefully, you will see that if 200 years ago you were a man and you were a poor man, if you wanted to even see a woman from far away, you would have to go for a feudal lord to a war and risk getting maimed, getting killed, risk everything to get some like plot of land to maybe get some ugly wife who would hate you and possibly even cheat on you. So yeah, that kind of patriarchy doesn't seem that appealing to me. Unless you were some very strong man or some rich man 200 years ago, your life could be the same shit like it is today. At least now you have all of this technology and distractions and junk food to keep coping. That's why men lived 30 years, 200 years ago. So we have to start changing society into something that is functioning. And to close this video with a suggestion, cuckolding or not, my suggestion, and if I ever ruled the country, I would enforce that, would be marriages will expire after 5 years. Like when you have your 5th year anniversary, there is going to be a question mark from the government rating your satisfaction with the marriage and asking you if you want to stay married or not. And if the answer is no, then you can simply walk away, and your wife or your spouse in general is not automatically entitled to half of the things that you own. Nope, they would have to bring proof of actually contributing to those assets or to the money. It doesn't have to be that they also work. For me, being a parent is truly the most important task in the world. That's why I don't have children, because I know that I would not dedicate the resources that would be necessary. And you know, knowing that in 5 years someone will just kick you out does keep you alerted. You're not going to gain 100 pounds. You're not going to be just spending your time eating McDonald's for breakfast and ice cream for lunch and watching 6 hours of TV every day. You know that the clock is ticking. But when I say that, oh my God, death threats. How dare you? Because all the men will replace the women with young, pretty women. And it doesn't matter. If you take care of yourself, good luck to him finding a young, pretty woman. I can replace any guy in an hour. And I don't consider myself the prettiest or the smartest or anything. I'm just very, very much self-aware, a lot more than many other people that I know. And you can do the same. So if you are in any kind of situation like the one that I described, I'm restarting my OnlyFans. The link is above in the banner of my YouTube channel. You can always message me to talk about your situation, to see my content, or anything else that you want to share. And if you want help with chastity, we can do that too.